And away we go. Doom, doom, doom. Patrol. I like it, but it's not something kids should see. I'm telling you that right from the outset. I'm Akshat, and thank you so much for tuning in to Wintertime Live Reactions. Today we are starting with season 4 of Doom Patrol. But before we get started with the episode that I just zoomed out of, with that Rick and Morty and away we go shout out, I would like to say that over 3 seasons, the characters have evolved, and I wrote very short one-liner sentence descriptions for all of these Doom Patrol superheroes. So let me get through them first, and then we can get started with the episode, for which I will, I guess, give another entry take. Okay, so there is a lot of personal growth in the narratives of these messed up heroes. Most of it is absolutely batshit random and abstract, but it's nice. So personally, I'm not very moved by Cyborg's story, and that's just my opinion, but I love the depiction of Jane's underground railroad museum of multiple personalities. And as an individual, I guess Rita Farr's story is a bit stretched because she's Elasta Woman, or the Blob as they used to call her. Larry is fascinating because of the alien negative energy being inside him, which he vomited out and then merged with himself, and now he's got the powers of the negative spirit without the attitude. Cliff Steele is a slapstick scrap comedy bucket of rusty bolts rattling in a tin can. Niles Calder is colder than ice when it is time to make tough decisions. Although I don't think we will be seeing Niles Calder in this season. Timothy Dalton, a former James Bond, was the actor who was portraying him. And there is no need to look for plot holes in Doom Patrol, because the plot, if I can call it that, is very flimsy. But it's more about the characters themselves, and looking for any sort of logic is like dropping paper on dropping water on tissue paper. So with that, I will say that the music by Clint Mansell is awesomax, and Clint Mansell is the person who created that haunting Requiem for a Dream soundtrack. It's absolutely, mind effort. Okay, and very bone chilling as well. What I had written was, I never forget the haunting Requiem for a Dream string orchestra and deep electronic hums. Totally chilling. So, with totes chills, let's embark on season 4, and I wonder if we will begin in media res, which means in the middle of the action. Okay, so here are my live reactions to season 4 of Doom Patrol. What's up, everyone? Usually I say Excelsior, fellow Marvelers, but these days I've been watching a DC series, Doom Patrol. It's awesomax because it's absurdly weird and sometimes poignant, and the characters' story arcs have developed in a very interesting way over 3 seasons. And finally, I think that they are ready to be a superhero team, although it's more like a dysfunctional superhero team. And I guess we're ready to rumble with season 4. Okay, so we got something to keep us warm, and we got something to keep our eyes on, and let's get this winter time reaction video started. This is why I love this show. So there is a guy called Codpiece who's a villain with Codpiece powers, and his backup IT guy is very nerdy, geeky, sort of stereotypical pale white guy. And Cyborg, the character who used to have a super powered gun and all sorts of tech inside himself, who is part of the Justice League, ironically. He is also the IT guy for Doom Patrol. So he sees this pasty looking whitey IT guy come out of the van, and this guy tells him, no, you are an integral part of Codpiece's evil plans, and without him he wouldn't be able to do his crime and stuff. And that guy says, yeah man, thanks for the pep talk. And then he turns and bends over and a bazooka, he has a butt bazooka. So these are the kind of weird, insane, completely asinine things that Doom Patrol does, which make it seem more like a hopped up person's crazy dreams rather than Jeremy Carver's well thought out plans and stuff. But kudos to them for doing that, because, and I'm sure Darth Vader here would agree, that if you don't use your imagination to create new worlds, then what's creativity for? So on that note, do check out my science fiction book that I'll leave in the top link in the description, so that if you've made it this far into this reaction video, you can check out. And let's get on with the first episode of season 4. We are 11 minutes in and around 40 minutes to go. So let's see how this first episode goes from here. Hilarious start, and the Crazy Jane character is in her psychotherapist, psychologist, psychiatrist persona, and she's pulling off diagnosis of all these Doom Patrol superheroes. Okay, so we are in the underground, which is the psychological construct made up by K or Crazy Jane or Dr. Harrison, whoever you want to call, whichever personality you want to call her. But Crazy Jane is the superhero name that they're using. So, first of all, Diane Guerrero does a very good job. First, she has to portray the personas in the real world, and then she has to interact with the multiple personas of Crazy Jane in the underground. So I really like the construct of the underground. Excuse me, because it's taken a lot of personalities, a lot of characteristics, and put them together in a world which is basically in the mind. And in the end, the world is in our mind, because what our senses perceive is processed by the brain, and that's what creates the world for us, right? So subliminal stuff aside, what really triggered this reaction was a phrase that Dr. Harrison used, which was warm beverage, and that reminded me irresistibly about Sheldon Cooper. May I interest you in a warm beverage? Because you seem upset. Big Bang Theory was a good comedy, and Young Sheldon is even better, I would say, because it completely steers away from the sometimes crass humor that Big Bang Theory used to use, and the high-flying concepts that they sometimes brought in, which were great for nerds and geeks like us, but they had run their course, and which is why I respect their decision to end that sitcom and start a new one with, of course, many of those characters reprising their roles, up until now only in voiceovers, in Young Sheldon as well. So that tangent apart, let's circle back to Doom Patrol. So they've traveled to the future, and guess which year it is? 2042. 42, as Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy fans will know, is the ultimate answer to the universal question of life, the universe, and everything. I love it when 42 spirals into my life. Anywhere, anytime. It's like that number 23 movie starring Jim Carrey, in which he was obsessed with the number 23, and it turned out in his youth or whatever, in his pre-amnesiac state or his pre-mental breakdown state, he had written a book about the crime that he had committed or something like that. It was a convoluted story, but it was something different, especially for Jim Carrey after his Alrighty then Ace Ventura movies. I mean, those were hilarious, man. And so is Doom Patrol. Alright, so with that little aside, on with the rest of the season 4 of Doom Patrol, episode 1. Even the ghosts of their future dead selves know that these people are so inept that they are going to screw up everything. And that is why they have decided to distract the real live Doom Patrol superheroes and steal their time ship and go back to the present so that they can try and avoid the future. Like I said, it's no point looking for plot holes because it's like a machine gun went through the plot. And at a very abstract level, it all makes sense, but the focus continues to be on the personal character development of these crazy, wanky characters, man. Alright. First episode of season 4 has set up the butt-pocalypse or the buttocalypse. I don't remember the exact terminology, but there is a not a post-credit scene because the credits haven't begun yet, but okay, let me unmute this and get back to you. Immortus will rise. Now, Immortus is going to be in the rest of the season, but the butt zombies have wreaked havoc in the future, and so the buttocalypse is what the Doom Patrol will be aiming to avoid this time around. I'm glad I got Darth Vader and his lightsaber with me because then I can slice and dice the butt zombies when they try and get to me. But alright, coming back from fantasy land of Doom Patrol, I think this is by far one of the best series that DC has managed to make. It's not comparable to the MCU because the MCU is always sort of a holier than thou, good will win against evil, against all odds sort of a story. And Wanda, I guess, had that sort of a little bit of evil, but again that was driven by maternal instincts, which alright, let's not go down that path. But alright, coming back to Doom Patrol season 4 episode 1, absolute must watch at least for me. And if you haven't seen Doom Patrol, you don't really need to see the previous 3 seasons. You can start watching from this season. Like I mentioned in the starting, there are very concise diagnoses given for all the members of Doom Patrol, the so-called superheroes, and I also gave my one-line descriptions to you. So in between and with a combination of those two, you know enough to get started and to start appreciating this absolutely awesomax series. And I guess I'll watch the rest of the episodes. 2 episodes are already here. The 4th one will be dropping, or 2 more episodes are already on Amazon Prime. The 4th one will be dropping later this week, I guess. And with that, I will call this late night winter time reaction video to a close. And that's it. Time for a little bit of warm water and bed in some time. And thank you so much for watching. Smash that sub button for awesomax fun, and you can check out my previous videos. Had to take a sip. My throat was begging to cough, but I was biting down that itch. Alright, and of course 2023 is upon us well, almost. And that is going to bring with it lots of live streaming from me, as well as lots of reaction videos like this. There we go. That warm water really helped the phlegm open up. Alright, so with that, adieu and good night, Shubhratri, Namaskar, take care and stay safe from me and Darth Vader. Yoda is over there, he's chilling out on his shelf, and he too says, may the force be with you. Alright then, thanks so much for watching once again, and good night.